Welcome to Timeless Memories. I'm Sarah. This channel is a special place where we honour remarkable lives that continue to be remembered with love and admiration. Here we reflect on unforgettable figures from film, music, television and culture, celebrating their journey, their impact and the legacy they left behind. Every tribute we share keeps their memory alive and forever meaningful. Lee Najjar, a businessman known to the public through his association with the Real Housewives of Atlanta, has passed away at the age of 68. His daughter, Caitlin Najjar, confirmed the news on April 20th, sharing heartfelt reflections and family memories. He reportedly died on April 18th, with further details not publicly disclosed at this time. Public recognition, Najjar became widely recognized through the nickname Big Papa, which was mentioned during the early seasons of the series. Although he never appeared on screen, his presence was frequently referenced, creating curiosity among viewers and becoming part of the show's early cultural footprint. Personal life. While his name became known through television conversation, Najjar largely maintained a private lifestyle away from media attention. His story remained mostly told through indirect references, and he chose to keep personal matters out of the public eye as much as possible. Family tribute. Following his passing, his daughter Caitlin shared emotional tributes highlighting their close relationship. She posted personal memories, photos and reflections that showed a strong family bond. She also recalled small, thoughtful gestures that meant a great deal to her over time. Remembering his legacy. Lee Najjar is remembered as a private individual whose name became known in popular culture through brief but memorable mentions. He is survived by his wife Kimberly and their children, leaving behind a legacy centered on family, privacy and personal connections rather than public life. Dennis Art was born on February 23, 1939, and began his life with a strong sense of duty and discipline. He served as a helicopter pilot during the Vietnam War, an experience that shaped his resilience and outlook on life. His service earned him 2 Purple Hearts, reflecting both his bravery and sacrifice. Transition to acting. After his military career, Art shifted toward the performing arts, where he discovered a lasting passion for storytelling. He built a steady career in film and television, taking on supporting roles that added realism and depth to the projects he joined. Stage and screen work. He appeared in films such as Basic Instinct, 1992, and SWAT, 2003. But his most meaningful work was on stage. For 15 seasons, he was part of the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, where he performed in both classical and contemporary productions. His work was later recognized with a Tony Award nomination for Heisenberg in 2016. Legacy Dennis Art passed away at 86, leaving behind a legacy built on service, dedication, and craft. He is remembered for his quiet strength, humility, and commitment to meaningful storytelling, both in military service and in the performing arts. Daryl Sheets, widely known for his long-running role on Storage Wars, has passed away at the age of 67. He was found at a residence in Lake Havasu City, Arizona, in the early hours of April 22nd. Authorities have confirmed that the circumstances remain under investigation, with further details being handled by the Mojave County Medical Examiner's Office. His passing marks the loss of a familiar presence in reality television that lasted for more than a decade. A career built on storage auctions. Before becoming a television personality, Sheets spent over 30 years working in the storage auction industry, where experience, instinct and risk-taking often determine success. He earned the nickname The Gambler for his bold approach to bidding and his willingness to take chances on abandoned storage units. His deep understanding of the trade and confident style made him a well-known figure long before he appeared on screen. Rise through reality television. When Storage Wars premiered in 2010, Sheets quickly became one of its standout cast members. The series followed professional buyers competing for storage lockers, transforming routine auctions into engaging entertainment. His energetic personality, sharp instincts, and memorable finds helped shape the show's identity and made him a fan favourite throughout its run. Family and legacy beyond television, Sheets often spoke about the importance of family. He shared a long-term relationship with Kimber Nesbitt Pino and worked closely with his son, Brandon Sheets, who also appeared on the show and learned the business alongside him. Those who knew him remember a man deeply committed to both his work and his loved ones. His legacy continues through his impact on reality television and the storage auction world, where his presence left a lasting impression. Priscilla Anderson built her career as a talented hip-hop dancer and choreographer, known for her energy, precision, and creative movement style. Over the years, she performed with major artists including Britney Spears, Rihanna, and Snoop Dogg, earning respect in the entertainment world for her skill and dedication. Work with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. She later worked as a choreographer for the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, where she helped shape dynamic and expressive performances. Her work behind the scenes focused on bringing emotion, discipline, and storytelling into dance routines, leaving a strong impact on the performers she guided. Public life and personal strength. Priscilla became known to a wider audience through a reality series that shared parts of her family life with her husband, country singer Kofi Anderson. In her later years, she faced a long battle with cancer, during which she remained open about her journey and continued to express faith, love, and courage. Legacy and remembrance. Priscilla Anderson passed away at the age of 45, leaving behind a legacy of resilience, artistry, and devotion to her family. She is remembered for her contributions to dance, her strength during illness, and the inspiration she provided to many through both her work and personal journey. Alan Osmond was the eldest member of the Osmonds, a group that rose to major popularity in the 1970s. He played a key role in shaping their sound and direction, contributing to a musical legacy that reached audiences worldwide. His work with the group remains part of the era's defining pop sound. Living with resilience. For nearly 4 decades, Alan lived with multiple sclerosis, a condition that gradually affected his physical abilities. Despite these challenges, he adapted with patience and acceptance, focusing on maintaining inner strength and perspective. Over time, he developed a calm resilience, approaching life with understanding rather than frustration, even as his circumstances changed. Family and values. Alan was deeply committed to his family and the people around him. He valued kindness, encouragement, and connection, often supporting others in quiet but meaningful ways. Even when his health limited his activities, he continued to offer guidance and emotional support, reflecting a steady dedication to those he loved. Legacy. Alan Osmond passed away at the age of 76, leaving behind a legacy defined by both music and perseverance. He is remembered for his role in the Osmonds and for the dignity with which he faced long-term illness. His influence continues through the music he helped create and the example of resilience and purpose he lived every day. For more than 5 decades, Marie Osmond stood in front of audiences who believed they knew her. She smiled, sang, danced, and carried an image of effortless perfection that made her one of America's most recognizable entertainers. From childhood fame to global success, she built a career that spanned music, television, stage performances, and business ventures, earning both admiration and financial success. Yet behind that polished public presence was a life shaped by pressure, loss, and emotional struggle that rarely reached the surface. Her journey is not simply a story of fame, but of survival through conditions that demanded constant performance, even when life behind the curtain was falling apart. To understand her strength, it is necessary to look beyond the spotlight and into the experiences that shaped her, challenged her, and ultimately redefined what endurance truly means over time. Childhood without ordinary years. Marie Osmond was born into a family where performance was not a choice but a way of life. Growing up in Ogden, Utah, she was the only daughter among many siblings, many of whom were already performing as a family musical group. From an extremely young age, she was introduced to stages, rehearsals, and public attention before she could even understand what childhood normally meant. Her upbringing was shaped by strict discipline, structured expectations, and constant preparation for public appearances. Instead of playgrounds and school freedom, her environment revolved around rehearsals and travel schedules. This created a world where approval came through performance rather than personal exploration. While this early exposure developed her discipline and stage presence, it also meant she grew up under constant observation. The foundation of her life was built on responsibility far earlier than most children experience, shaping her identity around work and expectation rather than carefree development. Teenage fame and sudden identity shift. By her early teens, Marie Osmond had already stepped into national fame, a level of recognition most performers never experience. Her music gained rapid success, turning her into a household name while she was still navigating adolescence. One of her early hits brought her widespread attention, pushing her into an industry that demanded maturity far beyond her years. While other teenagers were focused on school and social life, her days were filled with recording sessions, interviews, and public appearances. The transition from child to celebrity happened almost overnight, leaving little room for personal growth outside of public expectations. With fame came admiration, but also pressure to maintain a specific image that audiences had embraced. She became a symbol of youthful innocence and talent, yet privately struggled with the reality of growing up in an environment where her identity was constantly shaped by public perception rather than personal choice or exploration. Television fame and intense pressure. Her rise reached new heights when she became part of a widely popular television variety show alongside her brother. The program turned them into cultural icons, watched by millions each week and celebrated for their charm and chemistry. However, behind the polished performances was a demanding production schedule that required constant rehearsals, appearances, and perfection under pressure. There was little space for rest or privacy, and every detail of appearance and performance was carefully monitored. As her fame expanded, so did the scrutiny of her body, voice, and presence. She grew up learning that maintaining success required constant effort, often at the expense of personal comfort or emotional well-being. The pressure to appear flawless became an invisible burden, shaping how she viewed herself for years. While the audience saw entertainment and joy, her reality was defined by exhaustion and the expectation to always deliver without showing strain or vulnerability. Early marriage and personal expectations. As she entered adulthood, Marie Osmond stepped into marriage and motherhood, believing she was fulfilling a life path she had been taught to value deeply. Her first marriage began with optimism and hope, but the demands of career and personal responsibility created strain that became difficult to sustain. Like many aspects of her life, her personal relationships unfolded under public attention, adding pressure to already complex emotions. After her first marriage ended, she entered a second long-term relationship that brought children and a larger family structure. While she devoted herself to motherhood, she continued working at a demanding pace, balancing entertainment, business ventures, and family life simultaneously. The expectation to be a perfect mother, wife, and performer created emotional overload. Over time, the gap between public image and private reality widened, making it increasingly difficult to maintain balance or personal stability within the roles she was expected to fulfill. Emotional struggle and postpartum depression. After the birth of one of her children, Marie Osmond experienced a period of emotional distress that she initially struggled to understand. Instead of the joy she expected, she found herself feeling disconnected, overwhelmed, and emotionally distant from her newborn. This experience later became recognized as postpartum depression, a condition that many women face but often suffer through in silence. At the time, she felt intense guilt for not responding the way she believed a mother should. The contrast between public expectation and private reality made the experience even more isolating. Simple daily tasks became difficult, and emotional numbness replaced the happiness she thought she would feel. Over time, she sought help through therapy and treatment, slowly learning that her experience was not a personal failure, but a medical condition. Speaking publicly about it later, she helped bring awareness to maternal mental health and encouraged others to seek support without shame. Body image and long-term self-pressure. Throughout her career, Marie Osmond faced ongoing scrutiny about her appearance, especially her weight. From a young age, she was exposed to constant commentary about how she looked, both from industry professionals and the public. This led to a long-term struggle with self-image and body perception that followed her into adulthood. Over the years, she experienced cycles of strict dieting, weight changes, and emotional stress tied to appearance expectations. Despite professional success and public admiration, she often felt defined more by her physical appearance than her talent or achievements. This internal conflict created a complicated relationship with food, self-worth, and identity. Later in life, she began speaking openly about these struggles, emphasizing the importance of self-acceptance and mental health over external standards. Her journey reflects how long-term exposure to unrealistic expectations can shape personal confidence and emotional well-being across decades of public life and performance pressure. Deep personal loss and grief. One of the most painful chapters in Marie Osmond's life came with the loss of her son, who died after struggling with mental health challenges. The event deeply affected her, reshaping how she viewed life, love, and emotional vulnerability. As a mother, the grief was overwhelming and difficult to process, bringing emotions that could not be resolved through success, work, or public strength. She described the experience as life-altering, one that changed her understanding of pain and resilience. In the aftermath, she withdrew at times while also choosing to return to work as a way of coping with overwhelming grief. Over time, she became an advocate for mental health awareness, speaking about depression and suicide prevention with honesty and compassion. Her loss became a driving force in her advocacy work, helping others understand the importance of recognizing emotional struggles early and offering support to those facing similar silent battles. Marriages, identity, and repeated cycles. Across her life, Marie Osmond experienced multiple marriages, each beginning with hope and emotional commitment but facing challenges over time. Her relationships often reflected the broader struggles she faced internally, including pressure, identity conflict, and emotional exhaustion. While each marriage brought different experiences, they also revealed recurring patterns of searching for stability and connection while managing a demanding career and public life. The breakdown of these relationships added emotional weight, particularly within a cultural context that placed strong value on lifelong marriage. Over time, she began reflecting on these patterns with greater honesty, recognizing how early conditioning and constant performance expectations influenced her personal decisions. Therapy and self-reflection later helped her understand that many of her choices were shaped by a desire for validation and security. This awareness marked a turning point in how she approached relationships, self-worth, and emotional independence. Career demands and physical exhaustion. In later years, Marie Osmond continued performing, including long-running stage shows in Las Vegas that required intense physical and emotional energy. These performances demanded stamina, discipline, and consistency over many years. While professionally successful, the schedule placed significant strain on her body, leading to chronic fatigue and physical discomfort. Despite injuries and exhaustion, she often continued performing due to responsibility toward audiences and production commitments. Over time, she realized the importance of slowing down and listening to her body's limits. The end of her long-running residency marked a shift in her lifestyle, allowing her to step back from constant performance demands. This transition gave her space to rest, recover, and reflect on decades of non-stop work. It also highlighted how deeply her identity had been tied to performance, and how difficult it was to separate personal worth from professional output after so many years on stage. Reflection, healing, and life today. In her later years, Marie Osmond has focused more on personal peace, family relationships, and emotional healing than on constant public performance. She speaks openly about the importance of mental health, self-acceptance, and learning to live without the pressure of perfection. While she continues to appear in selected performances and public events, her life is now more balanced and intentional. She spends more time with her children and grandchildren, valuing presence over productivity. Her perspective has shifted from seeking approval to understanding self-worth independently of fame or appearance. The experiences of her past have shaped a voice that encourages honesty about struggle rather than silence. Today, her story stands as a reflection of endurance through pressure, loss, and transformation. It is not defined by perfection, but by survival, growth, and the ability to continue forward even after life delivers challenges that cannot be undone or forgotten.